Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel.
Hey guys, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel. And man, oh man, do I have a lot to talk about today because I am exhausted just thinking about it. I have been sitting at my keyboard for hours just trying to process the absolute insanity that just went down on the show. So grab a coffee or a drink or whatever you need because we are going to be here for a long time. I have a deadline looming and my brain is completely fried, but I just have to get all of this out of my head and onto the page. Because the things that just happened at the Cliff House are going to change everything forever. And I mean, everything. So let's just dive right into the deep end. We all knew that Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes were playing a very dangerous game, like the most dangerous game you could possibly play in Los Angeles right now. They have been sneaking around. They have been having this secret affair, and they have been doing it right under everyone's noses. But doing it at the Cliff House, Steffy's house, that is just a whole new level of stupid. I mean, come on. Steffy has been warning Taylor for weeks. She has been laying down the law. She told her mother to cut ties with Deacon. She told her that if she didn't stop seeing him, she would be banned from the family, banned from seeing the kids, banned from the property. But Taylor just couldn't listen. Her desires were just too strong. She completely lost her ability to think logically. And Deacon is a guy who just can't say no to temptation, even when he is married to the most dangerous woman on the planet. And that brings us to the main event, the absolute bloodbath of drama that just unfolded. So Sheila Sharp is walking up to the Cliff House, and she is carrying a bouquet of flowers, which is just so perfectly twisted when you think about it. Sheila actually thought she was in a good place. She thought her marriage was solid. She wanted to thank Taylor. She actually wanted to show gratitude to the woman who helped put her marriage back together, because in Sheila's mind, Taylor was her ally. Taylor was the therapist who helped her and Deacon. So she walks up to the door, and the door is locked, which is a miracle in itself because nobody in this town ever locks their doors. But it was locked. So Sheila doesn't just walk away because she is Sheila. She never just walks away. She goes to the window. She peeks in, and what she sees completely shatters her entire world. She looks through the glass and she sees Deacon, her husband, the man who hid her when she was a fugitive, the man who accepted her when she had 9 toes after faking her death in a bear attack, the man who married her and gave her a legitimate life. She sees him stripped down in the bedroom with Taylor Hayes. They are getting ready to hit the sheets. They are kissing. They are making out. And the illusion of Sheila's happy marriage just shatters into a million tiny little pieces right there on the patio. I can't even begin to describe the psychological break that happens in this moment. You have to understand Sheila's history. She has spent her entire life just wanting to be loved. She wants to be accepted. She forced her way into the Forrester family years ago. She has done terrible, unspeakable things just to get people to love her. And Deacon was her redemption. Deacon was the one guy who looked at all her crazy and said, yeah, I want that. He gave her Il Giardino. He gave her a ring. He gave her a future. And in one single second looking through that window, she realizes it was all a lie. The betrayal is just absolute. It is total, and it is the spark that ignites the evil ego that has been sleeping inside her. So Sheila doesn't just stand there and cry. That is not who she is. She is a monster when she is crossed, and she was just crossed in the worst possible way. So she finds a way in. She bursts into that house like a literal hurricane. The door flies open, and she marches straight into that bedroom. Imagine the shock on Taylor and Deacon's faces. They are in the middle of this passionate, forbidden moment. They think they are safe. Deacon literally just said that nothing was going to keep them apart. And then boom, the devil herself is standing in the doorway, and she is not holding flowers anymore. She is holding pure rage. Sheila doesn't even hesitate. She walks right up to Deacon and she brings her hand back and she slaps him. And I am not talking about a little soap opera slap. I am talking about a massive, bone rattling, sky clearing slap. She hits him so hard that he actually falls down. Deacon Sharp, this grown man, just crumbles to the floor. The physical force of her anger is just that strong. He hits the ground and he is just stunned. He is looking up at her from the floor of Steffy's guest room or wherever they are in that house. And his cheek is probably burning. But the physical pain is nothing compared to the terror that is about to happen. Because the slap was just the appetizer. The slap was just her saying hello. Sheila looks down at him. And then she looks at Taylor. Taylor is probably scrambling for a robe. She is probably panicking because Taylor knows exactly what Sheila is capable of. Taylor knows that Sheila shot her daughter in a dirty alleyway behind a restaurant. Taylor knows that Sheila left Steffy and Finn for dead in the garbage. And now Taylor is standing half naked in front of this woman after sleeping with her husband. It is a nightmare scenario. It is the literal worst case scenario for Taylor Hayes. And then things go from bad to horrifying because Sheila reaches into her clothes or her bag and she pulls out a knife. Yes, a knife, a real sharp, deadly knife right there in the Cliff House. And she grips the handle and the light catches the blade. And she looks at the two of them, her cheating husband on the floor, the hypocritical doctor cowering in the corner. And Sheila makes a vow. She swears to them right then and there that neither of them is going to leave this house in one piece. She tells them they are going to die. She promises them violence. And the thing is, you believe her. You have to believe her. This isn't just an empty threat from a jealous wife. This is Sheila Carter. This is a woman who has poisoned people. She has shot people. She has kidnapped people. She cut off her own toe with a pair of scissors to fake a bear attack. Stabbing two people in a beach house is just a regular Tuesday for her if she is pushed far enough. The tension in that room must have been so thick you could cut it with that same knife. I am just typing this and my hands are sweating because it is so raw. It is so unfiltered. Sheila is standing there and all of her good progress is just gone. Every single therapy session, every single moment of trying to be a normal restaurant owner, it is all washed away by the bloodlust. She wants them to bleed. She wants them to feel the pain that is currently ripping her heart out of her chest. And Taylor is just terrified because what can Taylor even do? She is a psychiatrist. She is supposed to be able to talk people down. She is supposed to understand the human mind. But how do you psychoanalyze a woman who is holding a knife and has just caught you with her husband Taylor's usual tricks aren't going to work? Here, she can't use her soft, calming doctor voice because Sheila hates her. Sheila has always hated the Forresters and the Hayes women. She always felt like they looked down on her. And now Taylor is doing the exact same dirty, grimy thing that Sheila would do. Sneaking around, cheating, breaking up a marriage. In Sheila's eyes, Taylor is no better than the dirt on her shoes. And she wants to carve that truth right into her. So Deacon is on the floor. He is looking at the knife. He is looking at his wife, the woman he actually did love in his own weird, messed up way. And he knows he has to do something. If he doesn't act right now, Taylor is going to die. He is going to die. And there is going to be a bloodbath in his daughter's house. So Deacon starts to talk. He tries to persuade her. He uses that voice. You guys know the voice. That smooth, fast-talking, charming voice that Deacon has used his entire life to get out of trouble. He has talked his way out of prison. He has talked his way into women's beds. He has talked his way into business deals. And now he has to talk his way out of a murder. He probably puts his hands up. He tells her to calm down. He tells her to look at him. He tells her that he is sorry. He probably tries to say it meant nothing, which is the biggest lie in the world, because we all heard him tell Taylor that nothing was going to keep them apart. But he lies because he has to. He tries to soothe the beast. He tells Sheila that they have a life together. He reminds her of Il Giardino. He reminds her of their wedding. He reminds her of the fact that he was the only one who stood by her when the whole world wanted her dead or in jail. He uses every single emotional bullet in his gun to try and get her to lower that knife. And as he talks, something happens. Something really tragic and really profound happens to Sheila. She is standing there. The knife is raised. Her heart is pounding. She is ready to strike. But she listens to him. She hears the panic in his voice. She hears the desperation, but she doesn't hear love. She looks into Deacon's eyes and she sees the truth. The cold, hard, miserable truth. She realizes right then and there that she cannot keep his love. She can't force it. She can hold a knife to his throat. She can trap him in this room. She can kill Taylor. But none of that is going to make Deacon love her the way he loves Taylor. None of that is going to make him faithful. None of that is going to fix the fact that he chose to be in this bed with another woman instead of being with her. It is this massive, crushing realization. Sheila has spent decades trying to force people to love her. She tried to force Eric Forster to love her. She tried to force James Warwick to love her. She tried to force Finn, her own son, to love her by shooting his wife and demanding his loyalty. And every single time it fails, because love doesn't work like that. And standing in the cliff house, looking at the man she thought was her final chance at happiness, she finally gets it. She cannot hold on to him. He is gone. The marriage is over. The dream is dead. And you can almost see the physical toll this realization takes on her. The adrenaline just drains out of her body. The evil ego that flared up just a minute ago suddenly turns into this hollow, empty sadness. The knife in her hand probably starts to feel really heavy. Her arm drops a little bit. Because what is the point? What is the point of stabbing them? It won't heal her heart. It won't make Deacon faithful. It will just send her back to a concrete cell for the rest of her life. And she is so tired. She is just so incredibly tired of fighting for a place in a world that doesn't want her. So she lowers the weapon. She doesn't forgive them. Oh no, she definitely does not forgive them. But the immediate threat of a double homicide kind of fades into this heavy, miserable silence. She realizes she has lost. Taylor wins again. The Forresters and the Hayes women always win. They always get the guy. They always get the high ground. Even when they are caught half naked in a cheating scandal, they somehow end up being the victims. And Sheila is always the monster. It is just so clunky and messy and brilliant all at the same time. I am typing furious notes about this because the psychology is just off the charts. Like, think about the aftermath of this. What happens next? Sheila is going to leave that house, but she is not going to leave empty-handed in the grand scheme of things, because she is a survivor. If she knows the marriage is over, she is going to want revenge in other ways. She is legally married to Deacon. She has her name on things. She could easily make a play for Il Giardino. She could take everything he has worked for. If she can't have his heart, she will take his pizza oven and his bank account, because that is what you do when you are Sheila Carter and you get crossed. You burn the earth behind you. And what about Deacon? He is sitting on the floor. He just survived a near-death experience. He just watched his wife completely break down, and he knows his life is ruined. His marriage is destroyed. His business is probably in jeopardy. And for what? For a hookup with Taylor, was it worth it? He fought so hard to be a respectable guy. He fought so hard to have a relationship with Hope. And now he is right back in the mud. He is the cheating dog who played with fire and burned his own house down. And Taylor. Oh my gosh, Taylor. What is she going to do now? She just had a knife pulled on her by the woman who shot her daughter in her daughter's house. How is she going to explain this to Steffy? Because Steffy is going to find out There is no way a screaming match, a physical assault, and a knife threat happen in the Cliff House without Steffy finding out. Maybe Steffy comes home right after. Maybe Steffy walks in while Sheila is still holding the knife. Or maybe Taylor has to confess because the house is a mess and Deacon is bleeding from the mouth. However it happens, Steffy is going to explode. Steffy warned her. Steffy literally told Taylor, do not do this. Do not bring Deacon around. Do not provoke Sheila. Steffy's biggest fear in the entire world is Sheila Carter being near her children. Hayes and Kelly live in that house. What if the kids had been home? What if Sheila had snapped and gone into their rooms? Steffy is going to lose her absolute mind. And she has every right to. Taylor selfishly invited danger into their lives because she couldn't keep her hands off a bartender. Steffy is going to enforce that family ban. She is going to kick Taylor off the property. She is going to look her mother in the eye and say, you are out. You chose him over us, and you almost got yourself killed in my house. You cannot be around my kids. And Taylor is going to have to pack her bags and leave. She is going to lose her daughter, her grandchildren, and her dignity. All because she wanted to sneak around with Deacon Sharp. It is just wild. It is a complete and total disaster for everyone involved, and I am here for it. I am writing this down, and my fingers are cramping, but I don't even care because this is the kind of soap opera drama that we live for. The messy, clunky, imperfect human drama, because at the end of the day, they are all flawed. Deacon is flawed because he is weak. He can't resist a pretty face, even when his life depends on it. Taylor is flawed because she is a hypocrite. She judges Brooke Logan for decades for being a slut from the valley, but here she is creeping around with Brooke's ex in her daughter's beach house. And Sheila. Sheila is the most flawed of all because she is a literal psychopath who thinks she can stab her way into a happy marriage. But that moment of realization, that moment when Sheila looks at Deacon on the floor and realizes she can't keep his love, that is the soul of this whole story. That is the human touch. Underneath all the crazy, underneath the 9 toes and the guns and the knives, Sheila is just a broken woman who wanted someone to pick her first, and Deacon didn't. He picked Taylor just like Eric picked Stephanie, just like James picked Maggie. Sheila's always the runner-up. And the heartbreak of that realization is almost enough to make you feel sorry for her. Almost. Until you remember she is holding a knife. So where do we go from here? I don't know. I really don't. But I know that the Cliff House is never going to feel the same. I know that Steffy is going to go on a rampage. I know that Deacon is going to have to sleep with one eye open for the rest of his life. And I know that Sheila is going to plot something even worse, because a sad Sheila is dangerous, but a rejected, heartbroken Sheila with nothing to lose, that is an extinction level event. And let's talk a little bit more about the sheer logistics of this scene, because I just can't get it out of my head. The physical layout of the Cliff House, you walk in, the living room is right there. The big glass door is looking out at the ocean. The bedroom is off to the side. Sheila had to walk past the kids' toys. She had to walk past the family photos. She had to walk through the life that Steffy built, the life that Taylor is actively putting in danger. And she did it with a knife in her pocket. And the slap, I want to go back to the slap because it is just such a visceral image. Deacon is a tall guy. He is fit. He works out. And Sheila is this older woman, but she has the strength of 1,000 angry demons. When she hit him, she put her entire body weight into it. It wasn't just a wrist flick. It was a full body swing. The sound of the flesh hitting flesh, the crack of it. It probably echoed off the high ceilings of that house. And Deacon didn't even try to block it. He knew he deserved it. He knew he was caught dead to rights. He just took it. And he went down hard. And when he was on the floor looking up at her, that power dynamic shift is incredible. Deacon has been managing Sheila for months. He has been the one keeping her calm. He has been the one telling her everything is fine. He was in control. But in that bedroom on his back, looking up at the blade of a knife, he lost all control. He was completely at her mercy. And he knew that the only thing keeping him alive was his ability to talk. And what did he say? We can only guess the exact words, but we know the tone. Sheila, baby, put it down. Please. It's not what it looks like, which is hilarious because it is exactly what it looks like. We were just talking. Yeah, right. Stripped down in a bed. I love you, Sheila. You are my wife. But the words just sound hollow. They sound like survival tactics, not love. And Sheila is smart. She is crazy, but she is not stupid. She can hear the lie in his voice. She can see the sweat on his forehead. She knows he is just trying to stop her from plunging that knife into his chest. And Taylor. We can't forget Taylor in the corner. Taylor Hayes, world-renowned psychiatrist. The woman who wrote books on human behavior, the woman who gives advice to everyone in Los Angeles. She is completely paralyzed. She has no words of wisdom. She has no therapeutic breakthrough for Sheila. She is just a scared woman clutching a blanket, realizing that her bad choices have finally caught up with her in the most violent way possible. Taylor has been so smug lately. She has been so sure that she could handle Deacon. She has been so sure that she could hide this from Steffy. She thought she was smarter than everyone else. But standing in that room, facing Sheila's wrath, all her intelligence means absolutely nothing. A medical degree doesn't stop a knife. And Taylor knows that. She knows she is entirely dependent on Deacon to talk Sheila down, which is ironic considering she is the one who is supposed to be the professional talker. And then the realization hits Sheila. The knife lowers. The tears probably start to form in her eyes. Not tears of regret, but tears of pure, unadulterated grief. She is grieving the death of her marriage. She is grieving the death of her dream. She wanted to be Mrs. Deacon Sharp. She wanted to run a restaurant and be a normal person. She wanted to have dinners and go to parties and be part of society. And looking at Deacon and Taylor, she knows that door is closed forever. She will always be an outsider. She will always be the monster. So she backs away. She probably doesn't say another word. She doesn't need to. The silence is louder than any threat she could make.